All right, guys, this is John Bunch here with Bunch of Diesel Performance. This is going to be a new segment that we're doing, kind of a get to know our customers kind of thing. We'll see how this works. So we've got Landon Holt here with us. We're going to kind of just shoot some conversation with Landon and see how it goes. So, what's up, Landon?
Not much.
So we just finished up building, and Noah will put some pictures in here for us. Landon just got done building a 2015.
Yep.
2015 LML. Did a bunch of stuff to it, which we'll go over here in a few minutes. But let's start with who are you? Like, so who is Landon Holt? Introduce yourself to.
Okay, I'm Landon Holt. I've known Jonah for quite some time. He was actually my football coach.
Yeah.
For a while,
Yeah.
I think junior and senior year maybe, and met him through there, and then.
So we'll start there, because that's what I've actually got first on my notes was the football thing starting out. So while I was in college, after I got out of college, I was teaching school, and I was actually teaching at a different school because I was like, I don't want to coach there. I want to coach at Granger County. So I come back. But I remember the first time I met Landon, it was summer practice. And so at the time we were still doing, I think we started at 8 o'clock. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Started like 8.
I think it was like 8.
And so, like, most people getting there 7:30, 7:45. And we would always go out to the big parking lot and do like our stretches and our warm-ups, running there. So I guess this has been Landon's junior year. We was out there and we was fixing to get started, and he wasn't there. And all of a sudden you hear this like open the gates of hell bellowing, just whoa of this truck. And everybody just standing out in the parking lot, and like when he drive, like we had to stop talking when he drives by because you couldn't hear. So he's got what year was that truck?
It was like a 2004
F-150 with, I don't know what exhaust you had on that thing,
straight pipes.
but it was so it was the loud. I just remember that every day at practice. That was the loudest freaking truck I've ever heard in my life.
Back then, I thought that was like awesome.
Oh yeah, that was the cool
now
thing,
it's
man.
Like, wow, I can't believe
yeah, mine was the exact same way. Was that your first vehicle?
Yep,
Was it?
It was my first one.
And you had it till pretty recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I just sold it last month.
Did you? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So another thing about Landon, I remember. So Landon was a tackle, offensive tackle, guard. And then what did you play on defense? Defensive tackle.
Yeah, tackle.
So I was at the time defensive. I guess I was helping out with the defensive line is what I was doing. And so like was playing ball in college, and so I was really trying to help the guys on, like, learning to improve based on your film. You remember that? Like we do the film. So like they at school or at Granger County, they had never done any of that kind of stuff. So I just did it with just you guys. And some of the kids liked to do it, some of them didn't like it. I remember Landon, like every week he was locked in, like he wanted to get better.
Yeah. Of course.
Well, you say that, but most people wasn't. Most people are not like that. Like it's a rare trait for somebody that wants to improve their life. Believe it or not,
maybe it's just they don't like to see themselves failing on camera. So it's like,
I think a lot of it is just the laziness. They're just like, I don't want to do with it. Because I mean, you was probably spending what on Saturdays. I think I'd text you all like Friday night, and then like Saturday you'd go through like the playlist that I sent you and you'd grade yourself or whatever. And it was odd. Like some of the guys, like the expectation. Oh, I did really good here. Like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Probably not.
And Landon was like, I did really bad here. Like, no, you did pretty good. Like, no, I didn't do any good.
That wasn't it. Sorry, that wasn't it.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember that Ford truck. That was that's when I think about the first time I met you. There's like pulling up that day, and that freaking truck was so loud. So let's see. I had started the business kind of. I was doing it still on the side, I guess. Then just kind of was doing it on the side. So you graduated. What year did you graduate?
17.
Graduated in 17. So I'd started the business, I think, in 16 and went full time in 17. So it'd been 5 years ago. What did you? So what was your first? Was it the LB7? Mm-hmm. Was that the first one? So when did you get that?
I believe I got that in. It was late. I want to say it was like late 18 when I got that truck, and then right
And that
after
was
I
what
got
year
it.
was that? 03?
04.
04.
Yep. 2004 Chevrolet.
Yep.
And,
Extended cab, right?
Yep. Extended cab.
Yep.
Short
Because
cab.
was I still working at the house
When
we tuned it the first time?
Yeah, when we tuned it the first
Yep.
time, and I got the monitor and stuff,
Yep.
we were still at your house. And then the next time it came back, and it got everything, you know.
Did you do all that stuff at one time?
Yep. The trans and the bigger housing and
So we did the 64 millimeter turbo on that truck. Well, that was a wheel and cover kit.
Yeah, wheel and cover kit.
And then we did the piping stuff, and I'll have Noah link a video in the description. We actually did a full video. Gosh, that's been 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while, but there was you did like a highlight video.
Of that truck. So we'll have Noah tag that in there. Oh, so let's see. We did the piping kit on that. Was it stock injectors?
Yeah, stock injectors, but we did the trans. I had to get the trans built.
You did the trans, yeah. Because if you're 5-speed transmissions, they don't. Did you do it at the same time, or was it right after the tuning it started?
It was after the tuning.
After the tuning,
which is probably self-inflicted.
How many miles did the truck have on it?
When I bought it, it had 130,000 on it, and then when I sold it to my buddy, it had like 186, and he still
got it. Yeah, he comes
just hit 200,000.
Filters and stuff every once in a while.
Yeah.
So y'all ride a lot of side by sides. What do you do there?
Well, it just depends really. Recently, we've been doing a lot of like Tackett Creek rides up toward Kentucky.
Okay.
And we'll park like at the
Is that
high school.
like toward Middlesboro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually park at Middlesboro High School.
Okay.
And you can cross over and go ride. And,
Really?
Yeah, and up there they got a lot of like an old coal. I think it was copper glow mining. They used old coal mining equipment. Yeah. So you can go ride and actually check all that out.
Oh, cool.
So
You loving that?
Yeah, thrown into that hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a bunch of you that go at the same at a time, or?
Usually, 3 of us always go, but then we'll sometimes we'll have a group up to like 5 or 6 people.
What kind of side by side do you have?
I have a 2022 Can-Am X3. It's a XMR edition.
Okay. Is that the 4-door one or the 2-door?
No, just
2-seater. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not super familiar with it. I've had one.
The Maxes, the Maxes are the 4-seaters. They call those X3 Max.
X3 Max. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So let's see. I guess your introduction to the diesel world was, like I said, with the LB7, 04 LB7. Mm-hmm. Was it mostly stock when you got it, or did it have?
Yeah, it was.
It had like a cold air intake on it, and it had like that the boost fuller thing. Didn't it?
It had
because they put it in backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, and it was like a Spectre, like.
Yeah,
like
with the chrome.
Yeah.
So it was a hot air intake.
Yeah, it was cheaply done, but like I said,
cool.
Low mileage and.
Right. And so you said you had that truck how many miles?
When I bought it, it had 130 something, and then when I sold it, I think it had like 186 or something, 189 maybe.
Okay. So like I said, that was your first, I guess, introduction to diesel. So then after that, you had sold the truck and bought the Subaru.
Yeah, I went and got a STI.
How did you end up? How do you go from 550-ish horsepower Duramax to STI?
I mean, the quickness was there. I mean, it was a super fun car to drive, and I had always wanted one, I guess.
Right.
But
right. Yeah, I'm not a car guy either.
Yeah, I found out that I wasn't. I just went out with a bang, whatever.
But you go from so that was what year?
21.
21. So, but you go from an 03, even just like the interior stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think that's what got me too, was the luxury. It was like, wow, this is nice.
Right.
But it just didn't.
And then you called me. Let's see. This probably been about a little over a year ago. You was getting.
Well, it was in November.
Was it November?
Yep,
okay, so almost a year ago.
Yep.
You was there getting services at the Subaru place.
Yep.
And they had traded for the truck you've got now.
Yeah, the 15.
So how did that conversation go?
Well, I took it for a test drive there, and I was.
So would you go to like your oil change and stuff? Or
yeah,
what, or?
I went to do an oil change the first time.
Okay.
And then I test drove it and I was like, no, I don't really need this right now.
Right.
So during that service, they told me that I had a recall due, and so they scheduled a recall, and the part comes in for the car, and I take it back over there, and they're doing the recall, and I go back over there, and I see it still sitting there, and I'm like, dang, okay, all right.
How long would it be? Like how long? A couple of weeks. Something?
Yeah, I think it had been. I think we waited for that part for like 2 weeks.
Okay.
To come in, and then when I came back, it was still sitting there, and I was like, okay, maybe this is meant.
Right.
So then I'm sitting there in the lobby, and I'm already knowing that I'm probably going to leave with this truck, and I text Jonah, and I'm like, how do you feel about a 15 LML? Like, what? I know the CP3s or CP4s are not the best,
right.
but other than that, he says the 15 and 16 model trucks are my favorite trucks, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
That's
what
he said, how much are they asking? And I was like, they're asking. They got it priced at 44, and he was like, buy. You can sell it for more even if you don't want it.
Yeah, because that was at that time. I mean, those trucks were selling like mid 50s. It what, like 80-something thousand miles on it.
It had 84,000 miles.
And it's a LTZ with the leather and all the stuff, and it's got like I said, 80-something thousand miles, and it was a midnight edition truck.
Yeah.
Kinda.
It
was
supposed to be.
So what they had done with this truck is they had I don't know if it's a guy that had like pulled a camper or something, because it's got the airbag stuff.
They said it was a boat. He was like a fisherman or something, and just pulled a boat all over the place.
But they had pulled, and like I said, you guys can check out the other video we're doing and show. We did some before and afters of his truck, but like they had took the super nice black emblems and everything come on this truck, and like tried to strip the paint off of them, and like there was like a clear,
like yellowish, old plastic look,
and then put like some weird chrome stock, like 18-inch wheels on it. It's just like, that's not a midnight edition truck, but because I remember you sent me the link to it on the website, and I looked the website up, and it was like, 15 Duramax midnight edition. I was like, that don't look like a midnight edition to me. So
no black wheels, the badges are fake.
I don't know what they've done, but. So he said, you got the truck in November, had it.
2 days. I drove it 2 days.
Had it for 2 days, and he calls me, he's like, I don't remember what the code number was, but it was like it was like 3 things, like the DEF pump, the knock sensor, and something else had went out. And I was like, well, bring it over, we'll fix all that stuff. So we took care of all that mess, and then... Let's see, that was in November.
Yeah, you did the first half of it, and then...
Right, because he's like, I'm trying to go riding this weekend, so we just come in, did the exhaust and the tuning on it to shut everything off. Yeah. And then come back like a month or so later and did the rest of that.
It was like first of the year, I think.
And did the rest of that stuff. And then that's when we was kind of talking, because he had the, what color piping was on the white truck? It was
the...
like teal?
Yeah, candy teal.
It was a really nice color, yeah. I think it was the same color that we did like the highlight in Dylan Wynn's truck.
Yeah, it was close.
That candy teal, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like once you kind of had all that extra stuff, it's like, well, I can't go back to not having it, So then we was talking about, actually, I think when we did the EGR, found
the second, when you took the EGR, the turbo.
The turbo had some play to it. And I was like, this is something you may want to think about doing, da-da-da-da. And, well, that's turned into a whole bunch of stuff. When did you get married?
I didn't get married yet.
You're not married yet? Okay. Okay.
Got to get it before.
So his wife is, or his future wife or girlfriend or whatever, she's still fully, oh yeah, honey, have all this, get whatever you want. That'll change.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's right. Like I said, I'm trying to get it in while I can.
Right. So you come in and we did, and like I said, we ordered this stuff in January.
Yeah.
Because we was going to do, originally the plan was to do, because the turbo was kind of acting up, and pricing wise, because you wanted to do the piping and stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So pricing wise, it worked out cheaper for you to swap to an S300 kit. Mm-hmm. So we did the Screaming Diesels S300. We did S364 SXE.
Yep.
which is good. 650 horsepower range because, like I said, you're daily driving it and using it to pull it side by side with.
Yeah.
And then he wanted to do the CP3 conversion with the fast. And so, like I said, we ordered all that. We did all that in January. Ordered it in January.
Yeah, like January the 16th.
Yeah, and so that's kind of about the time that I think Worley and HSP was kind of going through some stuff where they was like, we're not going to make all this stuff anymore, whatever. So I think that the guys over at Screamin' just got bombarded with orders, and then they had their big CNC mill. So Screamin' Diesel compared to Worley and HSP actually uses a solid billet Y bridge. It's a super nice kit. Like I said, I've been.
Your pipe comes in on top.
Yeah, where it comes in the top. It's a super nice. So Worley makes one. It's a cast piece that the pipe comes in top. It's a welded all the way around. It's a nice piece, but it's not. The Screamin' kit is a lot nicer of a kit. But anything, like I said, I've dealt with them a few times, and they make. I feel like that their products are probably a higher tier than the others, but.
I had the HSP and it was like, the quality is definitely there with Screamin' Diesel. I love that kit and the clamps that they make where it's actually V-bands instead of,
Yeah, so like on the 300 kit, they go ahead and weld the V-band flange onto the turbo and to the hot side pipe. Now let me tell you, that was the worst piece of pipe I've ever had to put in my life. That I spent, gosh, I don't know how long putting that thing, because you've got everything wrapped up nice. Mm-hmm. So we went with powder coating wise. Landon has always been a big Texas Longhorns fan. Yeah. So tell us about that. How do you become a Texas Longhorns fan?
Honestly, I don't.
I feel like you're playing like NCAA 2005 when you're like 3 years.
It was 06 actually.
Okay.
You were right. It was NCAA 06.
Okay.
And I can just remember. I always played with Texas, and they had Vince Young.
Yeah.
In that game.
Yeah. And then you have the only quarterback that can run the whole game. It's like it makes a world of difference.
Yeah, it's like a whole new thing, And I don't know. After that I started watching them, and then Colt McCoy and Jordan Shipley and all them guys came through, and I just stuck with it. Yeah.
So. I knew, like I said, knowing Landon, because like I said, he's been a good buddy of mine now. Because I guess you started coming around, like I said, 2017, and we did the one at your house, and then you come over here, and then you and Bailey, who was the guy that worked for me at the time, become big buddies. And so, like, they'd be, a weekend or an afternoon, you wasn't doing it, you come over and hang out and
just shoot the crap.
You're right. And so I knew, like, knowing Landon, I knew that he was a big Texas Longhorn fan, and so. I was like, you got a black truck, so you can really, in piping colors, you can do whatever you want. Yeah. You can make it look good any way you want. But we went with the color's called Illusion Root Beer, and it's got an orange with just a touch of a brown flop to it. It's beautiful.
It beats anything I've seen.
Yeah, I don't think we've done. I think we did one more of that color, but it's been years and years ago. But it's with that black truck.
It just pops so nice.
Yeah,
and it is a true like burnt orange look.
Yeah, it's like a real, because a lot of the oranges when you powder coat them, and once they start getting hot, they'll lighten up a little bit. Yeah. Whereas that one, it stayed dark. Yeah, it turned out super nice. But yeah, that darn pipe, putting that thing in, good night, because it had to cut. Gosh, it was a pain. It was a pain. But yeah, so Screamin' Diesel uses a V-band flange there which uses O-rings and the big V-band on to connect the turbo, so you don't ever have to have that pipe blow off. Yeah. And then I like the way that intake is coming up. It's kind of like coming at you, and then you got the coolant piece. It turned out super cool.
I like that better than I did the HSP kit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the color too, but
you come up. Let's see. When did you come up and look at the color? Like a week or so ago. Right when we first got it in.
Yeah, it was.
You'd come and checked it out.
And even then, I was like, nah. That's it right there.
And so then we ended up doing. Let's see. We had that. So like I said, the truck come in with stock 18s. We was doing all the piping. So under the hood looked freaking nice. So we also did the Extra G. CP3 conversion. What it was screaming CP3 conversion and did the XG pump. Did the edge and the shift on the fly and all that stuff with the fast. And then come in, it's like, man, we've got all this stuff done. And I had just traded for a set of these Hostile wheels. It was like brand news. And he came over to the house and looked at them. That was, man, I love those wheels. So then we put the wheels on, and man, the wheels have transformed.
Yeah,
it looks like a whole other truck.
It is so much better.
So did the wheels and did the Fox Reservoir shocks, and we've got the Kryptonite stuff ordered to come in and do that, but we figured we'd go ahead and get this other stuff done now. So we've got the Kryptonite upper control arms ordered to come in.
Yeah.
That's an awesome truck. I've drove it around a little bit. Like I said, I drove it to the house to get the detailing done and stuff, and just the sound of it. Like I said, this is the first one that we had done S400 kit. Like we'd done some stuff close to it, but when you actually go to like the S3, S400 series turbos on that LML, it's got such a it just sounds
it's almost like you're back in the cat. I swear. Yeah. It's got that like. It just sounds like an old.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll go drive it here in just a few minutes and let you feel it. But man, it's nasty.
I'm ready.
It's nasty. But like I said, you look at it on the outside. Like I said, after you having the paint polish and stuff, like it just the whole truck just pops.
Oh yeah, it's just as soon as I laid my eyes on it, I was just like, wow, this ain't no way. This looks brand new.
So what has been your and see Landon? He's always been, like I said, and this is going back like to the football conversation. Landon has always been like, when he's doing something, he wants to do it as best as he can possibly do it. So it's not been like, well, let's do this, and then we'll add it, and then 6 months later, well, let's do this, and because I'm telling you, man, like the guy, and I do it for everybody. It's you've got people that'll bring something like hey, let's do this now, and then they'll come back 3 months. Hey, I want to do this, and 3 months. Hey, you really spend a lot more money doing it that way. I mean, you're spending a good chunk of money anyway, but it's like if you just do it all at one time, it's like a whole different truck.
Yeah.
Instead of, because like, if you do it a little at a time, you're like, well, I get a little bit here, a little there.
And then you're like, okay, maybe I need something else.
Well, so we've got that big S485 over there.
No, not that big. It'll be a transmission and injectors and everything. I don't know about all that.
It gets out of hand in a hurry, don't it?
Yeah,
it sure
fast.
does. Yeah, man. So, so you said you're not. I thought you was married. You're not married yet.
No, not yet.
Who's gonna be your best man in your wedding?
I don't know.
Are you engaged yet?
We went and we looked at some. Don't want to talk about that yet.
I got you.
Trying to dodge it. I don't know if it's gonna work, but
she's not gonna watch this anyway, so it's okay. Oh goodness. So where you working at now?
I work at a place called Carlton Scale. We do service on truck scales, tanks, hoppers, anything that you're weighing with.
Cool deal. And you just got a house not too long ago too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I found like a cheaper single wide, and we went through and I basically almost gutted everything but the bedrooms.
Really?
And redid the.
Now, do you like doing that kind of carpentry work stuff?
I don't hate it per se.
I hate it,
but it's not my favorite thing. Like
I hate it.
Laying floors is awful.
Yeah.
But with like trimming, doing cabinets, all that stuff. I like seeing it.
You see a lot of progress real quick doing stuff. Well, depending on what you're doing, like you can see progress real quick doing that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Cool deal, man. Well, like I said, if anybody still watches this video,
thank you first of all.
Thank you for watching it. Like I said, we're fixing to go out and do some videos on Landon's truck here. So Noah's going to, I think he's going to link some of the videos to the truck or the build, because we're doing a whole nother series on the build of the truck. Because I've tried to time lapse that, and guys, I'm still learning all this stuff. So make sure you go. Like I said, make sure you go check that video out. Because like I said, you're not going. This is, the freaking orange and the black.
Man,
it's one of the best looking trucks I've seen in a long time.
I love it.
yeah, it's awesome. So guys, make sure, like I said, if you go check that out, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, make it help us grow a little bit, and leave a comment. If you got any more questions, like I said, we're gonna try to do some more of these kind of style videos in the future. So if y'all like this, make sure and let us know, and we'll catch you on the next one.